Free speech is under attack. Big tech and the mainstream media are actively working to censor the huge Biden email story. There's no more doubt about this. They've shown their true colors by censoring this story. They've gone all in to win it for Joe Biden. There's so much more to this story. And we'll be looking at some of the revelations later today because it really is huge. But for now, the media and big tech are now banning Twitter accounts for posting the story, including official Trump campaign accounts. We've never seen anything like this in the Western world. We have to stop them. Their censorship is completely illegitimate. We're going to be analysing this today. This is Political. My name's Connor Allen, and here is Ian Smith.
Hello, everyone.
Before we begin, guys, please do subscribe if you haven't done so already. Lots of subscribers recently. Thank you so much for coming in. Drop a like down below if you like the content. And we really need your help to stop the censorship. The only place they've not managed to breach yet is YouTube. So please do share this video. Share other videos like this. Do your bit and keep this conversation alive. Somebody sat behind me in traffic.
Yeah, so we've got a couple of articles from Fox News showing these tweets. To be fair, you've probably already seen the tweets already. You probably followed these people. But Twitter has suspended the official account of the Trump campaign on Thursday, saying Team Trump's tweets calling Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden a liar and posting a video about Hunter Biden's business dealings is a violation of its policy. So your account has been locked. The standard Twitter message. You've probably seen it before if you've, tried to post the truth on Twitter yourself. You may not publish or post other people's private information without their express authorization and permission, the post reads. So what did they do? What was the violation? What was the wrong thing? They posted a video of Joe Biden talking about how he doesn't speak to his son about his business dealings, which obviously is something that the emails that have come out seem to disagree with and refute. So that's apparently what they've done wrong. I'm not exactly sure how this violates any terms. They're not posting any people's private information. So
yeah. Well, what they say is that there's personal information in the article. So what the House Republicans did is they reposted the article verbatim on their own website. So a .gov website address, right?
Yeah.
With the personal information taken out, if you try to post that, you still get banned. So it doesn't make sense. It gives me a headache just thinking about it because it really does violate every norm in Western society. It's not. I mean, it's Trump's campaign account. Katie McEnany they've been deprived of access to a social media, to a huge platform, which millions of people 3 weeks before an election. It's crazy.
It's absolutely ludicrous. And I mean, like you say, you mentioned Kayleigh McEnany as well. So she's been locked as well. She obviously has the press secretary account, which she did retweet, she retweeted to. Retweeted. Oh my God, I'm such a bim. She tweeted on in response to the situation. So Twitter published White House press secretary Kayleigh McEnany for sharing the explosive New York Post report on Hunter Biden on her personal account. We have determined that this account is violated. Yes, same stuff. Hacked material. This is what really annoys me, right? Violating our rules. Distribution of hacked material. Well, hold on. How do they know it's hacked? Who determines whether or not it's hacked? Their explanation is, I mean, it's stolen, I suppose, but it's not hacked, right? But it's no different than like a whistleblower, right? Because a whistleblower leaks stolen information effectively, right? Edward Snowden is a whistleblower. But listen, what your position on
logic
whistleblower
falls apart.
Yeah, your position on whistleblower is like whatever, right? But some people agree, some people disagree. But the point is, it's not hacked material. If it is hacked material, then what's the difference between this and the New York Times tax return thing. That's someone working in the IRS leaking material that cannot be verified because the source is anonymous. This is the exact same. This is the exact same thing. In fact, this is possibly even more believable because they have all of the pictures to go along with it that are obviously private and personal. How else would they have got? How else would they have got access to those images? So who's making these decisions?
Right. Absolutely right. And none of the justifications they give make much sense because there's even an argument, they could say, okay, they're trying to prevent the spread of fake news from these kind of anonymous, unverified accusations. But how many times throughout this campaign have we heard Donald Trump raped me 35 years ago, and I kept quiet about it till now? How many times have we heard from this campaign, oh, he said a nasty thing, about veterans years and years ago, but I'm only talking about it now? This has been the hallmark of the campaign. Britain never banned any Democrat for this. It's clear they've taken a side here.
Yeah, because there's just if this is the bar. If this is the bar at which you ban someone or block someone's account or whatever on Twitter, then it just, hell, they've got a lot of work to do, right? Because there's a lot of people posting and publishing this kind of stuff all over Twitter from Democrats, from left-wing media, the mainstream media. They're doing it all the time. Anonymous sources. We can't verify where they've come from. We don't know where it's come from. We have no idea whether it's fake, whether maybe the newspaper believes it's true, but the person that's leaked it to them has, altered it in some way. Whatever it is, unless we know who it is, we can't verify. That's if that's what Twitter wants to do, fine, okay, but be fair and
Absolutely.
Make sure that you're actually doing it on both sides. It's clear that they've picked a side with this. It's just, and it utterly infuriating. Going back to the whole Section 230. Listen, if Trump wins 4 more years, they really need a wake-up call. Twitter, Facebook, they need a wake-up call because you can't just actively censor some material and not other material and still be expected to be protected under the law as a platform, because you're a publisher at that point.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And even the moral dimension of this kind of hypocritical censorship, right? But there is so much more to come from this story, because we've heard now about yesterday the story was that Hunter had links to Ukraine, but obviously that's progressed quite a bit now, and more things have come out, and it now turns out he has links to China, right?
Yeah, they've got, I don't know how much, actually, no, I don't know how much access to the hard drive that New York Post has, but obviously this hard drive is going to be full of thousands of emails and pictures and personal information, many of which could be incredibly incriminating. And it seems that the New York Post obviously are going to, drip feed us this little bit by bit to bring as much publicity and attention to it as possible. So yesterday, like you say, they were talking about the Ukraine. Today, there are a couple of emails that have come out, or one email has come out with regards to his links to a Chinese firm. So just getting into the particulars of what it said, Hunter Biden pursued lucrative deals involving China's largest private energy company, including one that said would be interesting for me and my family. One email sent to Biden with the subject line "expectations," including details of remuneration packages for 6 people involved in an unspecified business venture. Biden was identified as the chair, vice chair, depending on an agreement with the CEFC, which is a Shanghai-based conglomerate, CEFC China Energy Co. His pay was pegged at $850, whatever that means, and the email noted that Biden had some office expectations. He will elaborate. But here's the real damning thing as well. They were talking in the email about a provisional agreement of the equity share in the company. So obviously, who owns the shares in the company. And Hunter Biden in this is given 20%, along with some other members, whoever they are, given 20%. Jim, we don't know who that is, but then 10% held by Hunter Biden for the big guy. So if this story's been censored, yeah, and this is the thing, with the story being censored, like, how can we question this? How can we sort of, try and figure out and get to the bottom of this and know what's going on? Because for me, my own personal opinion, obviously I look at that and I think, well, the big guy's Joe Biden, right?
And this is kind of backed up from the emails we looked at yesterday with the Ukraine, when basically the entire emphasis is on Hunter's in these jobs so he can grant access to Joe Biden. And that was made very clear yesterday. There's no reason for a huge Chinese energy conglomerate to employ a junkie other than to get to Hunter. The big guy obviously refers to Joe Biden, but maybe it doesn't. But we can't talk about it, and we can't bring these facts into the mainstream and shine it under the light for them to work out. I mean, it's funny because it's actually the playbook of these countries, like shady business deals like in China and Ukraine. It's exactly what's happening in America. So crazy to think.
If Biden and co and his campaign and Hunter, what they should do, listen, if they're in the right, what they should do, Joe Biden and his son should come out, do a press conference, and they should say, look, we're going to be completely transparent. This explains this explains this, this explains this. Right? And we've done nothing wrong, and we just want to be transparent, and we want to let you know the truth. The fact that they're hiding, the fact that Biden cancelled, put a lid on, as they call it, his campaign commitments for the day, and just went back to the basement, shows that they're in hiding. The fact that they've got the media doing their bidding, doing their dirty work to hide the story for them as best as they can. These are all signs that indicate a guilty party, as far as I'm concerned. If you try and hide people having debate and discourse and conversation about something, a revelation, whatever it is, then you're as good as guilty, as far as I'm concerned. I want people to have a fair opportunity to defend themselves, but they're not even willing to do it.
Yeah. There's no smoke without fire. You can't hide unless there's something to be hiding from.
Exactly. So, I mean, I don't know. Listen, I suspect that the New York Post is going to continue on with this, and there will be more reports to come out. And obviously, we're going to be just following it as best as we can and breaking it down and giving you sort of insight into what's happening. So, if you haven't already, and we know about 90% of people that watch our videos aren't subscribed. So, if you do enjoy the content, then please absolutely do subscribe.
Before we go,
yeah,
I want to give a shout out to Paolo, Katerina, who loves our voice, Fosco, and all the other subscribers. Getting a huge amount of support from these guys recently, so thank you so much.
Yeah, it's actually incredibly humbling to have people that really seems to genuinely enjoy the content and what we're talking about. And when we kind of started the channel, we didn't really have any plans or aspirations. It was just more, we just like to sit and shit talk about politics, and maybe other people might like to listen. And the fact that has ended up being the case is like, yeah, it's a really humbling feeling, and it's great to see people come and comment. And please, we really appreciate the support. And to anyone else as well who's watching, who doesn't comment but just comes and watches our videos, then absolutely we appreciate you too as well. So thanks very much, and we'll see you in the next video.